Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another Good Morning Grief Devotion. It's Shabbat. Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr. So happy and excited to have this wonderful opportunity to come to you today to lead you in a very special way in today's Good Morning Grief Devotion. Yo, this is the daily grief devotion that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. What is grief? I'm so glad you asked. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is the natural and normal response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. That grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is what you reveal on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. We don't conceal it, but we reveal it. We don't ignore it, but we explore it. We don't lock it up, but we let it out. And that's why we shout good morning, because mourning is a good thing. And I'm so glad that you are here with us on today as we lead you in a very special way in today's Good Morning Grief Devotion. Today is day 144. Thank y'all for coming back for some more. We're going to talk about I'm rethinking my priorities. I am rethinking my priorities. Today's grief tip for today is rethink your priorities. Grief will make you rethink your priorities. When you are navigating through a season of grief, when you are dealing with loss, change, and transition, I'm telling you right now, one thing that is going to do, it is going to make you rethink your priorities. Priorities, what's important? What's most important? A lot of times it takes a significantly emotional event, right? It takes a significant emotional event, SEE, to make us see. SEE, significant emotional event. Y'all see that? SEE. It takes a significant emotional event to help us to see. It takes a C to help us to see. When you go through something as traumatic as loss, change, and transition, you begin to see things differently. You begin to reprioritize. You begin to realign this, that, and the other because the significant emotional event will help you to see things differently. And so you start to rethink your priorities. You start to rethink your priorities. You start to rethink time. You start to rethink who you give your attention to. You start to rethink what do you do, right, with the time that you have, right? And so today's grief tip is rethinking your priorities. Let's talk about it, y'all. Here it is. It's funny, but some of the things that used to be important to me aren't so much anymore, right? How many of y'all can attest to that? Some of the things that used to be important, they're not really that important as much as they used to be, right? Why is that? Because you are rethinking your priorities. I find myself rethinking my assumptions, values, and priorities. I might be questioning my religious or spiritual values. I might be re examining my relationships with material goods, status, appearances, and money. I start to rethink my assumptions, my values, all of these things. I'm calling it into question. Grief will make you call it into question. Grief will make you call people into question, right? People that I thought I could lean on and depend on, people that I thought would be there in my toughest time, my most detrimental moment, I'm calling them into question. Things that I value, things that I thought were important, things that the assumptions that I had, the questioning my values, re-examining my relationships, material goods, my status, appearances, even money. I spent so much time working, doing this, that, and the other, trying to get money so I could get stuff. And this grief has caused me to pause me and cause me to re-examine everything. I'm calling it into question. Somebody put that in the chat, right in the chat. I'm calling it into question. Grief will make you call it into question. Time, it'll make you call time into question. Money, it'll make you call working, it'll make you call working into question. Grief will make you call it into question. You start to re-examine it because this is the thing. So many times we have thoughts, opinions, and beliefs about certain things, and then you go through loss, change, and transition, and you start to re-examine your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. That which you deem to be a priority, that in which you deem to be an important, that which you deem to be so significant now, Grief makes you call it all into question. To say, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. The value that I had on this, I got to re examine that, right? Sometimes we think it's about, I've used 1,000 illustrations before. Sometimes we think it's about our presence, right? Presents, when it's really about your presence, Presence. It's not about the gifts, it's about your presence, right? So sometimes we spend a lot of time trying to get money so that we can get presents. And it's like, nah, it's not about presents. It's about presence. Instead of you being at work to get money to buy me stuff, I'd rather you be at home, you know, sit with me while I do my algebra or make me dinner and let us talk over the. It's not about that. It's about that. And when you go through loss, change, and transition, grief, somebody dies, it makes you re-examine, right? It makes you re-examine what's because this is the thing, and I've seen a lot of people, y'all. I've seen a lot of people take their last breath. I've been privileged to sit alongside families and to be there when loved ones were slipping from time into eternity, watching the monitor, the blood pressure drop, watching the heart rate drop, watching them flatline. I've seen it several times. You hear me? When I say several times, I've seen it several times. And the one thing that everybody wishes they had more of, here it is time. They wish they had more time with this individual. They wish they had more time. They wish they had more time, right? They wish they had more time. People start to re examine. Loss, change, and transition. It'll make you re examine what you thought what was important. Because at the end of the day, what it boils down to is more time. I just wish I had more time with you. More time to make more memories, more moments, right? More minutes to have more moments to make more memories. That's what people wish they had. People wish they had more minutes to make more moments to make more memories. So when you go through loss, change, and transition, the thing that people value the most when they start to re examine their priorities, they value time. They understand that people would rather have their presence rather than presence, right? So you start to re examine. What has grief made you re examine in your life? What has grief, what is this loss? What is this change? What is this transition that you've gone through? What has it made you re examine in your life, right? We start to rethink all of these things. Here it is, I'm changing, and some of my priorities are changing. That's a normal part of grief. I'm changing, and some of my priorities are changing. And guess what? That's a normal part of grief. I want you to know, y'all, it's natural, it's normal, and necessary that not only are you changing, but some of your priorities are changing. And beloved, you got to know and understand that is a normal part of grief. Here's the final thought, y'all. Belongings don't matter. Status doesn't matter. People and relationships, that's what matters. Belongings don't matter. Status, it doesn't matter. People and relationships, that's what matters. Today is day 144. Thank y'all for coming back for some more. I'm rethinking my priorities. I'm rethinking my priorities. Questions, comments, if you got them, holla at your boy. I love to hear them. Questions, comments, questions, comments, questions, comments, questions, comments. I'm calling it into question. Good morning to everybody. Thank y'all for joining us. I'm calling it into question. What are you calling into question? What are you calling into question? Made me realize that I have to be okay with people leaving, walking away. Have to have a strong foundation in God to not be devastated when people leave. Yes, because it's going to happen. They're going to leave, they're going to walk away. It's going to happen, right? So, how do we navigate through that? That's good. I love it. Thank you for sharing, Miss Patrick. Anybody else? Anybody else? I'm calling it into question. Felicia said, examining myself. I love it. Hmm. I'm examining myself. I'm going to call it into question. Examining myself, calling it into question. I love it. Well, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all with the love of the Lord. Oh, look, hope this lesson was a blessing to each and every one of you. Make sure, make sure you take the time to rethink your priorities. That's what grief does. It makes you rethink your priorities. And remember, it's natural, it's normal, and it's necessary. I love y'all with the love of the Lord. I'll see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place. Let's go.